Hello everybody. Today we are with Silas Stanley. He's a student in University of Texas, Arlington, and we have been in touch for at least half a decade. We
Yes,
used to go and train Japanese jiu-jitsu together on same dojo mats. And it was that time when he completed his undergrad and he moved to TCS and he started working and he texted me on Instagram कि भाई मुझे admit आ गया है ऐसा
yes,
हुआ है
I
वैसा
remember
हुआ है
that.
and US like
Yeah.
I was happy to help Silas, like just to get him acquainted with what to expect in United States as a master student. Today he has completed 1 year of his masters. Thought it would be a good idea to have him in here and have a candid discussion and conversation and to engage in dialogue that what are the students struggle for me who has been in United States of America for over 5 6 years and the way I navigated along with my flatmates and bunch of other friends. I thought it would be a good idea to condense the journey through this audio video session. Hi Silas.
Hi Akash, bhai. How are you?
I am doing amazing, bro. How is the weather out there these
It's
days?
really hot. Texas is hot. Texas is known for its weird weather, like extreme cold, rain in between, like even during summer, it rains in between, and then it's like 40 degrees.
I was by New York City and Jersey. I'll say in terms of like for an Indian to swing in like summers and then going to the colder winters, watching snow for the first time and stuff. I think that also prepares us.
Do you have
I enjoyed the snow. I remember my first snow was like walk 40 minutes from my school to home and हमारे shuttles बंद हुए थे and Ubers were down because
yeah,
it was a sudden snowfall. I was wearing my woodland shoes and it was freaking cold. And I was like, ये यहाँ नहीं चलने वाले
yeah.
बस नए जूते खरीदने पड़ेंगे. That's my first memory with snow, I'll say. I enjoyed it with bunch of flatmates sitting strumming guitars in the evening. ये सब वो सब चलता रहता है.
Mm. That's amazing.
How do you find the weather
So the
change for
weather is
yourself?
hot, like 40, 45 degrees. It's crossing. So it is the same here too, but it's not as humid as Mumbai. So I'm almost used to it, but again, like you have sometimes difficulty adjusting to the new weather. It snowed here for a few days in January, but it was not that extreme as bad as New York or here in North Side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've also heard that Texas has like bigger portion of food and people out
Yes.
there are in
Yes.
general
Yes.
like
That's what they say.
country.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Food portions. I always like ask for to-go boxes and then eat it at home later because I can't finish it. Whatever I order, even a small portion, no. Even though I have a decent
Okay.
appetite.
How do you feel like leaving Mumbai? That's also a metropolitan city, and then moving to Texas and like uh, leaving aside the school, but just life in general for you. How has it changed, bro?
So it was not an easy journey. I had to think about it a lot because I was in my comfort zone in India. I used to stay with my parents. I had a decent job, but I didn't have that satisfaction that I'm doing what I want to do. Deep inside, I wanted to live that American dream that my friends and my classmates, my seniors were living. And then when you see the lavish life on Instagram, like people just show their good side, fancy vacation, fancy cars, and just going out. So you get carried away by that. And then also, of course, career comes first. So doing well in their careers, earning like six figures. I got fascinated by that, but I also wanted to switch because in teachers, I was doing manual testing and I wanted to go into a field that's more in scope, that pays well, and that will require me to actually do something that I enjoy. That is when I remember I shot you a DM on Instagram that I'm looking to pursue my master's. So do you have any advice? And
I was
advice, yeah.
yesterday I checked out those DMs and I was just thinking that after this interview, maybe just let me screen record it and then like post it by the chat.
Here, here I am, especially coding, and I want something like management. And that's when you suggested me that a data or a business analyst would be a great option. And then I had also heard about it that it's one of the best fields to get into.
I definitely recollected, bro, because I was on same path at some point of time, and for me, it was like connecting with seniors and talking about what different roles exist in the technology landscape and what are my skills, my strengths, and how can I align them with my career track. And that's how I decided to be a business analyst. Because just like many, I never developed a flair for development coding, and like me belonging to an Indian family, and like I received vanilla advices as well कि बेटा इसमें बहुत पैसा है, आप इसमें सोचो कोडिंग करने के लिए या डेवलप दो स्किल्स. बट one thing I always knew was that's not my cup of tea. I don't want to do that. I'm more of a creative person, more of a communicator, storyteller, ये सब वो सब. तो I think that fits well with people who belong to or business analytics domain. It is, I must say, it requires a lot much people skill that's difficult to develop. But in the journey, you start developing it, not just in job, but even outside job. And that's been my suggestion because it's a profession I explored. Finally, I found something that really resonates with me.
Yeah, people skill, like you
And
said, business analyst, that's important for life. Like in general, that's the most important skill any person should have.
keeping the focus on you, Silas, like I have known you since we were on our martial arts school back in Mumbai, and even now you pursue your fitness journey, boxing and
Yeah.
MMA and hitting gyms regularly. How do you find time as a student?
So initially it was difficult, and first I think few weeks or at least for a month I was figuring out. So initially it was difficult, but when she's like settled in, you know what's going on, and you talk to seniors where what is there, like where are the classes going on, what happens, where is the happening things. You know, eventually things get better, and time management is one of the most important things here because you have to cook, clean, attend lecture, network, and whatnot. You need to go play football, like make time for gym, everything. So you've been through that journey, so you
So
know that better.
So let me pause you for a minute. I remember you saying like few minutes back that people show only good side on Instagram, and now you
Yeah.
also have the other side of the spectrum wherein you're discussing the chores. So क्या इसके बीच में कितना difference feel हुआ है, distance feel हुआ, and what's that people in India see before flying here, and what's it like to be here? No doubts both coexist,
Yeah.
so both are there, but what are your thoughts after spending 1 year in United States?
People show online or on Instagram or LinkedIn, but they don't show the reality, the grind, the hustle, um, the struggles that they go through because every good thing, especially like a good career, a job, you have to grind a lot, and that is not shown on camera on Instagram. People don't show cleaning the room, like doing the dishes, working part-time job, working overtime, grinding, studying. So people don't really show that. But when I came here, I realized that that is one of the most important things to do, like manage your time and manage your chores, and still get things done. Because since we are in here now, like I'm here alone without my family, friends back in India, you have to figure it out alone, like network, make new friends here, and then as we connected, I reached out to you again for advice, and then you helped me a lot with insights about how to network, how to go about it, how to land internships. So that helps a lot.
I belong to an entirely different background before coming to masters. I want to know that. Let's break it down. You shared a bunch of thoughts and stories.
Mhm.
Tell me the time of last year when you were getting done with your visa and ticket and that excitement, and then coming down into first semester and then second semester, and how life was changing. Was it still that you expected it to be, or you feel there was a difference in your like imagination कि life ऐसा होगा US में या कुछ ऐसे?
Honestly, I still feel like came here yesterday. It's hard to believe that finished like 1 year of my master's, halfway I'm done. So it still feels like yesterday that I was doing my visa process. I was scared. I remember reaching out to you, my friends, that is it really going to be worth it? Will I be able to manage? Will I be able to land a job? Like, how is it going to be? Especially the market being a little harsh on us right now. So the grind is going on. Like you have to keep working hard, like no matter what, d- whether the market is good or not. You got to do what you got to do, right? So that is going on. Yeah, and amazing. It's like I wouldn't say like it's just sunshine and roses. It's like full of ups and downs, but I'm enjoying the journey, I would say.
Talk to us more about your semester one versus your semester two, and what's the compare and contrast? Where are the roses and where are the thorns? Because every rose has its thorn, so we need to cover it holistically. So the intent of asking this question is like people who are planning to fly. I want them to know what to expect from a master's journey, what happens, what goes around in the first year. Because it's not just about like taking loans and flying, but it's also about managing different avenues. It's not not to scare them or instill fear in them, but just a journey that gives them enough of information so they can take educated decisions and choices while they are flying here. Like it's a first world country. No one has experienced what it is like to be in a first world country. So for them, it's a first hand experience.
Right.
For parents, it's first hand experience, depending upon if it's a first child, second child, third child, or like XYZ. So talk to me about what it what's your first sem was
I
like
completely
and how
understand.
the
Yeah.
tonality changed.
I understand because I've
Yeah,
been in
yeah,
that
yeah,
phase. Like I was confused, and then I used to look up to students and people who were working there and like who've been through that journey. And now that I have been through that situation, like I've completed like 1 year of my master's. Initially, when you come here, there will be a lot of event orientations, organizations, clubs, which you attend like in general, like to make contact, network, and then see what the university, what the events are about. There will be a lot, and I suggest like attending them because you'll get to know what is going on. You make friends there, you talk to the host. Okay, there are these clubs too. What's going on where in the campus? And that's how you network. That is also useful for finding part-time jobs on campus because at least in my university, it's really competitive. Like I got my first part-time job in February, like after almost 6, 7 months of being in the United States, even though I was actively applying to like 100, 150 part-time on-campus jobs. So networking, talking to people, taking referrals, reaching out to seniors, your current friends, it's really important. And talking about the education part, um, you can pick 3 subjects for the first semester. Like for us, it was compulsory 3 subjects. And then there are some subjects that is, for example, my course is business analytics. So I had to pick Python statistic in my first semester. That was compulsory because later on I had to do data science, data mining. So that was like a prerequisite for that. So I had to pick these subjects and it's more practical based. It's not like India that they just give you notes and then you just mug up that and then write it on paper. It's much more practical. You have to understand the concept, but it's manageable. I wouldn't say that it's difficult, but you have to put in efforts. And there are assignments every week, group project assignment, which was new to me because I used to take it lightly back in India. But here you lose out on
mm-hmm.
a lot of points because more than 70% of your grades is based on timely assignments, group projects, attendance, and everything. Only for one subject, attendance was important. Otherwise, in the US, it's not that important. But it's always better to attend lectures and get that knowledge. Not recommending skipping lectures. Yeah.
I completely am in sync with you because my engineering journey, I was a completely different student as an engineer.
Okay.
I was not a last bencher technically. I was more like a third, fourth kind of.
You were a
I
good
used to take
student?
those kind of
Or-
seats. No, man, I was a defaulter. Like people
Okay.
used to call me a tourist in my own college. On the contrary, when I flew to United States and when I was doing my masters, that completely changed. I was sitting on first bench. I was researching on what the professors would be teaching and what he has taught in the previous lecture. I used to go and sit an hour before the lecture and revise my notes. Being a first bencher, asking good questions to professor because I studied at Stevens. We had a classroom size of like 30 kids,
Yeah.
MIS batch, and I think that created a change because I was in my mind I had this education system supports the personality of mine. So
Okay.
if I am there, I should be there
Should
and
be
I should
present.
make
Yeah.
good use of. I should have that presence of mind कि यार ये तो बढ़िया है, अगर बढ़िया है तो क्यों नहीं करना है.
Right,
It's not
right.
like paper ये करो वो करो. You have to be consistent. And even my mom has been a lecturer for her like 25 years in DY Patil College. So a few of my friends or like acquaintances who knew that, they were like, ये टीचर का बेटा है, ये studious रहेगा. And then when we used to take 40 minutes of walk back home, they're like, hey, you are just simple, and we had a
Yeah.
different persona of you and how you will be. And I'm like, yeah, different. I'm the same guy. No, but then you sit on the first bench and then you take notes and then you have
It's a
books and
complete
stuff. And I was
transformation,
like,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that because I like the subjects, I like the case studies, I like to understand how things
It
are.
suited your style of
Yesterday,
education, right? Yes.
yes, 100%, it suited my style. And that's also an experience I want to bring in, like even when I fly back to India and sitting here in Mumbai and having this, I want to give that feel and tonality to the education sector, because everyone complains कि India education बहुत पीछे का है, ऐसा है
Yeah.
वैसा है. So someone needs to change it. So somebody has to do it. So why not me or us,
Yes.
or why not create a community who is supportive of this?
That is true. I completely agree. And plus, I believe that by the time you start your master's, you're also at least 21 or 22. So you're much more mature. And then you know that, oh, I'm not here to like waste my time or bunk lectures. I'm here to actually like come here for a reason, right? To pursue my master's, get a good job. So you take it more seriously. And of course, one thing that not many people talk about, most people have taken up a loan of like 40, 50 lakhs. They're in the back of their mind, like, oh, I got to pay off my loan. I can't be like messing around or bunking lectures and not take this seriously, right? So that is one of the reasons like people change like from a defaulter to a first bencher, your transition. And also I see that in myself. I completely agree.
The loan aspect is always there
Yeah,
in
yeah,
back of
yeah.
the mind, and that's the reason students who are like Indian immigrants, they go out for an on-campus job or looking out for opportunity anywhere that they get, like any spill of dollars that helps them make out for the rent and stuff. Eventually what I learned is everyone is different, and everyone has a different story. Like I lived with bunch of flatmates,
Yeah,
metaphorically
yeah. I
speaking, no
got your
less than
point. Like
Nawaf.
everyone's different, right?
And even we had a run for the on campus, but could never find it. Like, and then something my sister, she told me, since she's in Seattle, 5 years elder to me, so I usually take her advice that's digestible to me. So she said, yeah, Akash, like, look at the bigger picture. It's okay. On campus is a part and parcel of your game, but internship is what's more important. So, fast
Hmm.
forward to today, the present situation in America, when students are either doing internship or searching for another one for the next semester, or not having internship but have taken courses or doing some projects, building up their portfolios.
Right.
I had my big focus on this
Oh.
internship.
But I think we spoke about it, but can you just shed more light so that me and like anyone else watching this video can have an idea and get an advice? Like, how did you land your first internship in IBM? Like, what did you do differently that other students did not do?
Oh man, it's a completely different chapter of life, I'll say. Like that process of internship search and then finding my first internship. And then the next chapter is like when you dip your feet into that internship, the first day of internship, 3rd June 2019, in the headquarters of IBM.
How was the feeling?
I feel
First day.
it was different, man. Walking around with the brightest mind across North America. My mentor is a master inventor. We have been sharing interactions on LinkedIn. Still today, I can drop him a message and
Wow.
expect a response.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, Silas. It was pleasure having you, and I'm sure by continuing this series of conversation, we are bringing in more light. And again, the intention for me is to bring out the best stories, not just in United States, but even in Australia, Ireland, and people out there, creating like global story structure for like student. traversing from Indian education to a foreign education, land of opportunities.
Yeah.
Whatever I faced in and out of
Mhm.
recession in internship, I want to bring those best of the stories out there, speaking about the good and bad, both sides, and how they both complemented each other to change me as a person, to
Yeah.
think differently and take unconventional choices. And whatever I went through, I at least had my music and my martial arts to back me up.
Hmm.
But not everyone is that fortunate enough to have art by their side.
That is
And
true.
watching my peers and juniors stuck in the rut, I just don't want them to go through that, what I went through in the journey.
That's why
Then
I
we
get a
created
lot
our world.
to learn from you. That's why you are my go-to person whenever I need to ask something or ask any advice, anything that I need to learn or take away from you. You're the first person I reach out to. And then, yeah, it's always great to learn from someone who has been through that journey, who knows what to do next, like a big brother to me.
100%, bro, because I was doing the same thing when I was a student. I was asking many people who have been through this journey. During pandemic, I was in touch with a senior manager of Facebook who is like 10, 12 years elder to me. And even in that blanket of recession, wherein every day we get up over the call and just hear, oh, you are an F1 student. We don't sponsor F1 student and up
Yeah,
and down.
that's
So
an unfortunate
that's,
situation.
but how you take that situation, I'm not saying it was a problem, it was just a situation, a test of time, and how you utilize it. For me, it was more like connect with senior managers and forget about jobs or forget about where you land, but at least be capable or or create a persona that helps you uh, swim in whatever career swim lane you choose. And I think that's what changed my entire track, entire route. So yeah, let's catch up in the next
Anyways, I'm
episode.
looking forward to more. Thank you for having me and then discussing things
Absolutely,
about
Silas.
the US journey.
This is just a beginning, man.
Yes, let's do it again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.